Hey guys, welcome back. And we're just here for our second deck list that I have done. So this is actually a new deck to the channel. This is what I like to call the Roach deck. Why is it called the Roach deck? Because roaches are nasty, annoying, and so disruptive. And that is the perfect description for this deck. Right. So this is our first card. I do have to preface real quick. I have the flashlight on, just so you can see the foil as best as possible. Because I didn't get foils for nothing, even though it comes in foils. The first card is probably the weakest card to our strategy, although it still does help out. It is the biggest liability, because this is focused more on one prizers, and just 1/3 prize thrown in there is kind of not that good. But it's the one thing that this deck does fall upon is like battle power. It will never hit anybody super hard. So I thought throwing this in here does pretty well out of my card pool. Alright. So the first move is damage. The second move actually locks your opponent out of trainer cards, which really helps. So this Pokemon goes really well with Pokemon Calm, because of course it's a GX, and just in case I don't need a prize card, I don't need a 3 prizer up there, I can Pokemon it out of my hand. It goes really well with Last. And for most of you who don't know about like all the base set cards, well, it's not base set, I don't think. Oh yeah, I think it is base set. For all the base set trainers, Last, what it does is you and your opponent show your hands and then shuffle all trainer cards from your hands into your deck. So if you lock them out of playing trainer cards for a turn, hopefully on like a turn where they didn't set up quite well, and if you shuffle all of them back into the deck, you're ripping their hand apart. So after you shuffle them into your deck, these two, I don't know how to I don't know how to pronounce that. Anyway, those two were recently banned, I've seen, but since we don't follow normal rules, they're good here. These mill 3 cards from each deck. And if I also discard 3, it takes out 2 Pokemon from a full bench. So disruption. After you put those trainers back into the thing, and it's your turn again, you just discard 3 more cards back into the deck. These 2 will actually appear up later because they're kind of a focus point in the deck. Now, if Darkrai and Umbreon is prized, then so these cards actually combo the best with Mismagius and Mischievous. Mischievous really doesn't help, but it's mostly Mismagius. Like I was saying, if we can't get Darkrai, then we go off of the Chaos Wheel, which does not allow you to play tools, special energy, or stadiums. And tools are really good. Like, just attaching them. So if we're able to stop tools as best as possible, we could get a lot of mileage off of just stopping energy. And these two actually help because most of my deck is dark energy. So getting a few psychic energy I have are good. And Evo Incense because it's the evolution. Now, Lipard and Purloin contributes to a part of the milling strategy. So Purloin's main move, Shadow Scratch, lets it so a basic Pokemon can't attack. Well, that basic Pokemon can't attack next turn, meaning it can switch out, but not everybody has switch cards on hand. So it can lock them. This goes very well with the only twin energy. Because, double colorless. So it also goes really well with the Air Balloon. So if somebody switches out but is not able to attack, then Air Balloon is really good to pivot Lipard out of there with no retreat cost. This also goes very well with our two favorite cards. And because they're distracted or they're stalled for another turn, it's another turn able to discard 3 cards off the top of your deck. And you're thinking these cards go so well with so many of the cards so far, meaning what? 2 out of 3? No. Yeah, 2 out of 3. You're gonna run out with just those 2. No. I have 4 recycles. Now what recycles do is that if you flip a coin and you get heads, you can put any card from the discard pile on top of your deck. Any card. So, you use these twice. And then let's say you get 2 heads, 2 tails. Then you use them 2 more times. That's a lot of mill. And that's not even saying all of these are heads, because all of these could be heads or tails, but mostly heads. You are using these super fast. And it does have a negative synergy with my only professor's research, but also my professor's oak. But that's 2 out of all of these cards. It is negative, but most people have harder card draw, so it works out. Actually, let's just go through the rest of my deck and say all the synergies for these cards. Pokegear finds them. Item Finder finds a trainer card from the discard pile. So we made a clause that it has to be an item or a tool, just not a supporter, basically. So I'm able to find some more item stuff like recovery. What is it? Recycle? Yeah, recycle. The Pal Pads, of course, which also they pair themselves well with the rest of my supporter lineup. The Poke Kids, another Team Yell Grunt, and Wick. Wick is good just in case I gotta he's talking too much or they're talking too much and I'm like, okay, hold up. They reset their whole hand. Energy removal, because it's energy removal. It's just good. And those are the rest of the synergies for Belelba and Bryson, man. I tried it. Now I do admit this deck is a little bit slow, but I believe that its damage output, well, not damage output, its disruption is good enough to warrant a slower deck. So I have this Galarian Obstagoon line with 4 Ziggs, because 4 Ziggs, it's good to just help with a little bit more damage on key things. The Linoons are okay. Night Slash is pretty good. And Obstruct and Untamed Shout are its are the best. Obstruct just allows no basic Pokemon to hit this Pokemon. And in such a basic heavy meta right now, this is amazing. So these do go well with Switch, because getting in and out of basic Pokemon's way is insane. It also does go well, of course, with Evolution Instance, since I don't have Rare Candy enough to put in this deck too instead of my main deck, which I try to make as consistent as possible. So with the rest of my lineup of trainer card items, I just can't do anything about that. But that's okay, because like I said, it is slow enough. I mean, it is disruption enough, usually. Actually, I can win games with just Obstagoon, because some decks just don't have evolved Pokemon. It's actually insane. Now, the rest of the cards don't have insane synergy, but they really help. So, this Nickit with Instigate just drops your opponent's hand count to 3. So, it's very good. This Weavile is Nasty Plot ability. Just 2 cards, any cards out of the deck can put in a hand. So it's good setup and it's good awareness. The same for this Cramorant. It's a little bit of damage with Beat Catch, which is what I usually use it for. Really nice, really good, and with such discard pile control, I can get a lot of energy back if I ever need.